Has the mystery of the Zodiac serial killer been solved? What have experts said? We will see all the mysterious details in this video, but you must subscribe to my True Crimes channel and like the video to spread. A team of cold case investigators claim that Gary Francis Post is the Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer terrorized Northern California from 1968 to 1969, and the name became synonymous with the uncapable killer. He was famous for shooting at least 5 people, followed by a series of mysterious letters of challenge he sent to local police. Although the Zodiac Killer almost called the police to arrest him, or her, they never did. Now, decades later, a group of 40 former law enforcement investigators calling themselves the Case Breakers claim to have solved the case of the Zodiac Killer. Using a combination of eyewitness testimony, newly acquired physical and forensic evidence, and photographs from the suspect's camera darkroom, the Case Breakers claims that the Zodiac Killer is an assassin named Gary F. Post. The man they named died in 2018, and his family is reluctant to respond to press inquiries about the matter. "I definitely feel like we've solved this case," said Tom Colbert, a member of the Case Breakers. The group also claims to have solved cold cases such as the kidnapping of D.B. Cooper and the disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa. After years of investigating the mystery of the Zodiac Killer, the Case Breakers presents arguments that Gary Post bore scars on his forehead that matched a police sketch of the killer. They also claim that removing the letters of Post's name from one of the Zodiac Killer's symbols appears to change the message. The killer sent 4 codes, 2 of which were decrypted. "So you have to know Gary's full name to solve these mysteries," explained Jane Buchholz, a former military intelligence agent. "I don't think there's any other way that anyone could figure it out." The suspect appears to have scars similar to the Zodiac Killer, according to the Case Breakers. Additionally, the Case Breakers alleges that Gary F. Post also committed the murder of Sherry Jo Bates on October 31, 1966, 2 years before the Zodiac Killer's first official killing occurred. They announce that she is the killer's 6th victim. But not everyone is convinced that the Zodiac Killer case has been solved. Following the announcement of the Case Breakers, the FBI's San Francisco office confirmed that the Zodiac Killer case remains open. One cop went away, insisting that the Case Breakers were way off the mark with their theories. "Is there a chance that Post killed Sherry Jo Bates?" Riverside police officer Ryan Riverside asked. "No." He added, "If you read what they published, it is all circumstantial evidence. There's not much." The Case Breakers argue that cops simply refuse to look into their theory out of pride. "The real part here is about pride and vanity," said the Case Breakers member Bill Proctor, a former police officer and television news host. In fact, police initially believed that the Zodiac Killer had killed Bates, and authorities were also receiving a letter after her death that appeared to resemble the Zodiac Killer's modus operandi. The team confirms that Sherry Jo Bates was the 6th victim of the Zodiac Killer. The Case Breakers also pointed to a paint-stained wristwatch recovered from the crime scene. Post was a house painter, and a trace that appears to match both Post and the Zodiac Killer. However, the Riverside Police Department insists they believe the Zodiac Killer did not kill Sherry Jo Bates. "Our homicide division has determined that the 1966 murder of Sherry Jo Bates is not related to the Zodiac Killer," the Riverside Police Department cold case stated. But some people who knew Gary Francis Post thought he looked like the Zodiac Killer. Post was considered controlling and violent toward his wife by his next-door neighbor. After seeing the evidence of the Case Breakers, she became convinced that Post was a murderer. "He was living a double life," she said. "As I think now as an adult, it all makes sense now. At the time when I was a teenager, I didn't understand until I was older. I actually realized that Gary is a Zodiac." In an interview with a Zodiac witness named Will, the Case Breakers learns that Will allegedly escaped a criminal gang led by Post in California's High Sierra region. Will claims that Post trained him to become a killing machine, and that he personally witnessed Post bury the murder weapons. He also says Post loved killing animals and enjoyed manipulating their corpses. But of course, the case breakers aren't the first to think they've solved the mystery of the Zodiac Killer. In June 2021, a French engineer claimed to have cracked the final Zodiac codes. One code includes a line about the killer's name, which the engineer deciphered as Lawrence K., a longtime suspect in the Zodiac crimes. A former California police officer also claimed to have identified the Zodiac Killer in 2011. He said the killer was a 99-year-old former real estate salesman, whom he described by the pseudonym Andrew Todd Walker. So, has the mystery of the Zodiac Killer been solved? So far, the cops say no. But if Gary Francis Post really was the killer, the case breakers have solved a 50-year-old mystery. At the end of the video, let us know how much you liked the video through the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the glass.